Isn't it one of life's greatest ironies? You can pray with all the sincerity in your heart for a financial breakthrough, and the very next day, the universe delivers an unexpected dental bill. It's like you ordered a 5-star meal from the cosmos, and instead, you got an itemized receipt for a banquet you haven't even attended yet. You're trying so hard to get ahead, to clear the slate, but it feels like every time you ask for help, you're just accidentally renewing your subscription to the struggle bus. You're doing what you think is right. You're asking, you might even be pleading, for a little relief from the weight of debt. But if you're honest, those prayers often feel like they're being sent from a place of panic, a state of deep and profound lack. It's a tragic comedy of errors, and you've been playing the lead role without even knowing it. But the good news is, you can stop the show, rewrite the script, and give yourself a much happier ending. That's exactly what we're going to do today. We are going to explore this phenomenon through the eyes of two absolute legends, the mystic visionary Neville Goddard and the dazzlingly bold Reverend Ike. We're going to see how their powerful and seemingly different perspectives actually converge on this one critical point. We will unite Neville's profound inner technique of living in the end with Reverend Ike's glorious demand that you get out of the mental ghetto of poverty right now. Because what you're about to understand is that true, lasting prosperity isn't just a thought, and it certainly isn't a desperate plea. This entire game of manifestation is about a unified state of being. It's the feeling of wealth in your soul meeting the confident swagger in your step. It's an internal vision so powerful, it has no choice but to project itself onto the screen of your world. So get ready to transform your prayers from quiet requests for help into roaring declarations of your own abundance. So let's pull back the curtain on why this cosmic comedy of errors happens. Neville Goddard would tell you that the cause is beautifully, and sometimes tragically, simple. He taught that your imagination is not some frivolous mental playroom for idle daydreams. It is the very workshop of God, the studio, where reality itself is scripted, directed, and produced. Now the problem is that most of us are running this divine studio like it's a chaotic, underfunded, public access television station. We're letting our panicked, anxious feelings sit in the director's chair. Imagine this. You sit down to pray for debt relief. You are feeling the knot in your stomach, the anxiety of the bills, the desperation. In the studio of your mind, the director, who is your feeling state of lack, starts shouting orders. Okay, everyone, we're shooting a scene called, "I'm drowning in debt. I need more props that look like final notices." Cue the sound effect of a ringing phone from a collector. I want the actor, which is you, to look really, really worried. Action. And the universe, which is the most obedient and literal-minded film crew in existence, simply says, "You got it, boss," and builds the set for that exact scene in your physical world. You're not praying for a solution. You're rehearsing the problem. This is precisely where the magnificent Reverend Ike would stride onto the set, probably in a fabulous suit, and tell you to get your mind out of the gutter and your spirit out of the ghetto. He and Neville are in complete agreement here, even if their delivery differs. Ike is essentially shouting that you need to fire that miserable, chain-smoking director of doom and gloom. Stop producing these low-budget horror films about poverty. He demands that you start producing a glamorous blockbuster titled My Fabulous Abundant Life. The technique, then, isn't to fight the old movie, but to simply produce a new one. This is the heart of living in the end. You don't focus on the plot point of how do I get out of debt, ni a har be a hari. You skip directly to the final scene, the scene after the bills are paid. The scene where you're checking your healthy bank balance with a sigh of profound relief and gratitude. You play that feeling, that scene, over and over in your imagination until it feels more real than the stack of envelopes on your table. Your prayer then becomes the soundtrack to this new film, a symphony of thanksgiving for a victory already won. If you're enjoying this new perspective on directing your own reality, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more secrets from the cutting room floor of creation. You are the director after all. It's time to stop greenlighting tragedies and start producing the masterpieces you were born to live. Now, once you've got that glorious movie of success playing on the inside, you cannot, and I mean cannot, walk out of the theater of your mind looking like you just watched a tragedy. This is where the magnificent Reverend Ike would grab you by the shoulders, look you dead in the eye and say, "Get out of the ghetto." And he's not talking about a zip code, honey. He's talking about that mental and emotional slum you've been living in. You can't have a multi-million-dollar consciousness and a 10-cent personality. The two don't mix. It's like trying to serve fine champagne in a dirty, cracked teacup. So how do you walk? You stop shuffling into a room like you're apologizing for taking up space and breathing the air. You don't walk in looking for the nearest corner to hide in. No, you enter a room like you own the building and are just there to collect the rent. Put some glide in your stride. Your feet should hit the pavement like they're stamping, paid in full, on the sidewalk with every single step. Your posture should declare, "I am here," not whisper, "Can I please be here?" This isn't about arrogance. It's about alignment. Your external self-image has to match the internal vision. You are a child of the King of the universe, for goodness sake. Start acting like it. And how do you talk? You stop answering the phone with that little squeak in your voice, terrified that it's another bill collector. Answer it with authority. Answer it like you're expecting a call from your financial advisor with news that your investments have doubled. When someone asks you how you're doing, you stop sighing and saying, "Oh, just getting by." Getting by? Getting by is for amateurs. You are not an amateur at living. From now on, your answer is, "I am doing absolutely wonderfully." And you say it with a conviction that makes them believe it, because you believe it first. You have got to stop identifying with poverty. It is not a cute look on you. It is not your identity. Being in debt is a temporary condition, not a personality trait. What's one small, sassy change you can make to your walk or your talk this week to reflect your new, prosperous reality? Drop it in the comments below, because I want to hear how you're going to put some swagger back in your step. This isn't about faking anything. This is about your outer world finally getting the memo that your inner world has already been upgraded to first class. You are simply dressing and acting the part you have already claimed in the kingdom of your own mind. And here comes the part that trips up almost everyone. It's the great, big, scary but. You've spent the day walking like royalty. You've answered the phone with the confidence of a CEO. You've felt the glorious relief of being debt-free in your imagination. But then you get home, it's quiet, and the doubt starts to creep in like a cold draft under the door. You pull out your phone, your thumb hovering over the banking app. "I'll just check," you whisper to yourself, "just a quick peek." And there it is, the gotcha moment. The numbers haven't changed. In fact, maybe a new automatic payment just went through, and the number is even lower. Suddenly, that swagger in your step feels fraudulent. That confident voice on the phone feels like a lie. And you start doing the silly things we all do. You refresh the app again and again, as if hitting that little circular arrow is a magical incantation that will suddenly make a zero appear. You start mentally rehearsing arguments with bill collectors. You open your mail with one eye closed, as if that will somehow soften the blow of a final notice. Listen to me. This is the test. This is the entire battle, right here in this moment of doubt. This is where Neville would tell you that your greatest work is persistence in your assumption. It requires a discipline known as denying the senses. This doesn't mean you become a delusional person who can't see the red number on a statement. It means you see it, you acknowledge it as a shadow of a former reality, and you refuse to give it your emotional power. You refuse to let that number in your bank account feel more real than the feeling of wealth in your soul. You are the bouncer at the nightclub of your mind, and the facts and figures of your old life are not on the list. You do not let them in. Reverend Ike would put it more bluntly. He'd say you just took a round-trip ticket right back to the mental ghetto you swore you left. Every time you check your balance with a sinking heart, you are literally choosing to go and sit in the slum of your old thoughts. You're abandoning your palace of abundance to go stare at the ruins of your past. Stop it. The seed of your new reality has been planted. It is in the ground, gathering its strength, pushing its roots down in the dark. Your job is not to dig it up every 10 minutes to see if it's growing. Your frantic checking, your worry, your panic, that is you, on your hands and knees with a shovel, destroying the very thing you prayed for. Have the courage to turn away from the evidence of the senses and the patience, to let your harvest grow. Your persistence is the water and the sunlight. Your doubt is the poison. Choose wisely. So now you understand the two sides of this golden coin. Neville gives you the inner blueprint, the map to the state of the wish fulfilled. Reverend Ike gives you the rocket fuel, the glorious, unapologetic energy to live from that state outwardly. You need both. A map without fuel gets you nowhere, and fuel without a map just leads to a spectacular crash. It's time to put them together in a single, powerful practice. I call this your secret weapon, the Paid in Full protocol. It is a two-step ritual designed to completely reprogram your subconscious mind and align your entire being with the reality of financial freedom. It's simple, it's fun, and it is devastatingly effective. First, the Neville step. Find a quiet place. Close your eyes. I want you to feel, right now, the overwhelming sensation of relief that comes from being completely debt-free. Don't just think about it. Feel it in your body. Feel the tension release from your shoulders. Feel a warmth spread through your chest. Imagine holding a letter that says, "Paid in full," and the feeling of that paper in your hands. Hear the sound of yourself sighing, a deep, happy sigh of absolute freedom. This is not a prayer of asking, it is a celebration of receiving. Marinate in this feeling of, thank you, it is done. Now, before that feeling fades, open your eyes. This is the Reverend Ike step. Stand up, right now. Pull your shoulders back, lift your chin, put a slight, knowing smile on your face. This is the posture of a person who has no debt. This is how a sovereign being moves. Walk around your room, not with the memory of debt, but with the feeling of the freedom you just generated. Your body is now broadcasting the signal that your mind just created. This is the most important part of your new mental diet. And now for the most critical instruction. Once you have done this, you must leave it alone. You have planted the seed. Do not, under any circumstances, go digging for it. Every time you anxiously check your bank account hoping for a change, you are performing what I call a mental abortion. You are terminating your own miracle before it has a chance to develop. Have the divine audacity to walk away from the garden, knowing the seed is good and the harvest is assured. Trust the process. Your only job is to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and this protocol is your key to doing just that. Let this be the final curtain call on the tragedy of lack. You are not a spectator in the audience of your life, hoping for a happy ending. You are the operant power. You are the hand that writes the script, the voice that shouts, action, and the consciousness that makes it all real. Stop praying for a rescue and start commanding your reality from the throne of your own mind. From this day forward, let this be your one true declaration. I am so wonderfully, gloriously, and completely free. My past can no longer afford me. Live from that truth. If you are ready to master this unified teaching, to fuse the inner vision of Neville with the outer swagger of Ike, then hit that subscribe button right now. Your seat in the winner circle is waiting. The game is over. You have already won. Now go out there and act like it. Stop trying to pay off your old debts and start creating a fortune so massive it makes them irrelevant. Go live a life so rich, your bank account has no choice but to catch up to your spirit. I am that wealth mindset.